Welcome to this summary episode for building the Tau FireWarrior Cosplay Helmet. I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. The helmet is coming along really good at this point. I've done all the design work, I've done nearly all the build work, and I've coated the whole thing in resin and got that all smoothed down. Now it's time to work on some details. The first detail we have to address is a bit of a mistake I made. With the Tau FireWarrior Helmet, the sensor screen is actually supposed to be inset a little bit, so let's work on that process right now. Initially, I took my Dremel and I drilled a few holes along the outside of the sensor screen that I'm going to use as a guide for cutting here in a little bit. I cut those holes from the inside of the mask because on the inside of the mask I can see the divisions between the walls and the front of the sensor screen better than when I can from the outside of the mask. Using a combination of tools, some in the Dremel and one being a handsaw, I then carefully, as best I could, cut out the sensor screen. Next, to inset the sensor screen inside this little cavity here, I first used some green stuff putty to kind of tack it into place, and then I flooded all the areas around it using hot glue. Between those two things, it's pretty well secure in place, but what I want to do is now work to make the areas that are around the inset be nice and smooth. I then took some green stuff, kind of went along the edges of the front of the sensor screen there, and I put that green stuff in there to kind of fill in the uneven surface of the hot glue. Now to finish this process up, I gotta take some sandpaper and I'm gonna sand down what is the front of the sensor area, what were the sides originally, make those nice and smooth. And then I have to go in along all the green stuff that I just stuck in there when it dries and sand that down using some sandpaper as well, so I get a nice smooth finish to not only the front edges of the sensor screen but also the boundary to where the inset sensor screen is attached to the walls. Now we get to talk a little bit about building the details in the back. The back of the Tau FireWarrior helmet has some inset grooves into it. The first step is to draw these things out using a Sharpie marker. I just kind of eyeballed it, but if you really want to be particular, you can be very careful with it. The key here is to draw a nice thick line with the Sharpie marker, because you're going to cut out the entire Sharpie marker area. It was at this point that I figured out how to use the Dremel's tungsten carbide cutter, and I found that really works very well in making the grooves. What you want to do with the tungsten carbide cutter is you want to pull it along the helmet. Don't try to push it, don't try to kind of move it like a mill bit. You want to kind of lay it a little bit on the helmet and pull it along, and it very quickly cuts these grooves into the helmet, and you can very easily get a very rough cut of the particular shape you're trying to go for with these grooves in the armor. Now be careful not to cut all the way through, unless of course you once planned to put some extra material under there, but I didn't, so I was very careful not to cut all the way through. The final step, which I didn't show here in this video, is going to be to go in with some sandpaper and clean those grooves up and make them nice and smooth both on the bottom as well as the sides, and we'll deal with some little more details of that later on in the next summary video. So with all that, thank you for watching this summary video of the Tau FireWarrior Helmet cosplay build. I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. If you want to see this show live, you can find me over at Twitch at twitch.tv/RockoRobotics, and of course subscribe to this channel here to get the latest updates on this build project. Thank you for watching and have a good night.